Welcome back to Grand Line Chronicles, where we journey through the vast sea of stories that is One Piece. Today, we're going back, all the way back to the very beginning. Chapter 1, Fuchsia Village.
It's amazing, isn't it? How every grand epic has a humble, quiet start. We're not talking about emperors of the sea or legendary warriors yet. We're talking about a small, peaceful village and one very loud, very ambitious little kid.
Monkey D. Luffy, a 7-year-old boy who wants nothing more than to be a pirate, and not just any pirate. He wants to be part of the crew that's anchored in his village's port, the Red Hair Pirates.
And you can't blame him. Think about the image. The Red Hair Pirates, led by Shanks. They're not portrayed as villains. They're just having the time of their lives. They drink, they sing, they party. For a kid like Luffy, they must have seemed like the freest, most incredible people in the world.
Absolutely. The story opens in a bar, which is so fitting, Makino's bar. Luffy is sitting there, begging Shanks to take him on his next voyage. He even stabs himself under the eye to prove how tough he is. A classic Luffy move, even back then. Impulsive, a little dumb, but full of heart.
And Shanks just laughs at him. He teases him, calls him an anchor, tells him he's too young. It's such a warm, almost father-son dynamic. But then the mood shifts. The door to the bar swings open.
The mountain bandits arrive, led by a guy named Higuma. This scene is foundational. It sets up the entire philosophy of the series in just a few minutes. Higuma walks in, all arrogant, demanding sake. The pirates have drunk it all. Shanks, being the guy he is, offers him the last unopened bottle he has. A gesture of peace.
And Higuma smashes it. He humiliates Shanks, pours sake on his head, talks down to him about his measly bounty, and what does Shanks do? Nothing. He just cleans up the mess with Makino and laughs it off. He laughs.
That moment is so powerful. Luffy is furious. He can't understand it. His hero, this strong pirate captain, just got humiliated and did nothing. He yells at Shanks, "Why didn't you fight back?" And Shanks' reply is everything. It's just some spilled booze. It's nothing to get angry over.
He understands what's worth fighting for. And a little bit of spilled booze isn't it. But Luffy, in his righteous anger, doesn't see that yet. And in his frustration, he stress eats the weird-looking fruit that was in a chest on the counter.
The Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Gum Gum fruit. Shanks panics, spit it out, but it's too late. Luffy's body is now made of rubber, and he can never swim again. A pirate who can't swim. The irony is just perfect. He traded his ability to swim for a power he didn't even understand.
Sometime later, we're back in the bar. Shanks' crew is gone, preparing to leave. Luffy is still fuming. And then Higuma and his bandits show up again. This time, their taunts are directed at Luffy.
And this is where it gets real. Luffy, bless his heart, tries to stand up to them, but he's just a kid. He gets beaten down. Makino tries to intervene, but it's Shanks who walks back in at the perfect moment. His whole demeanor has changed. He's not smiling anymore.
The air gets cold. He walks up and says one of the most iconic lines of the entire series.
"Listen up, bandits. You can pour drinks on me, you can throw food at me. I'll even laugh it off. But no matter what the reason, I won't forgive anyone who hurts my friend."
Chills every single time. That's the trigger. You don't mess with his friends. The fight, if you can even call it that, is over in an instant. Lucky Roo shoots one of the bandits in the head without a second thought. Ben Beckman takes out the entire rest of the crew with just a rifle butt. It shows the terrifying gap in power. These guys aren't just partiers, they're monsters when they need to be.
Higuma, terrified, escapes to the sea, taking Luffy as a hostage. He throws Luffy into the water, and then, from the deep, the Lord of the Coast appears, a giant sea monster that just swallows Higuma whole. and it turns its attention to Luffy, a small, terrified kid who can't swim, about to be eaten.
You feel that genuine terror. You think, this is it. This is how the main character dies in the first chapter. But then, a blur. Shanks is there. He's holding Luffy, staring down the monster with a look of pure fury. He says, "Get lost." And the monster, this behemoth, flees in terror, just from his glare, his conqueror's haki.
And it's only after the danger has passed that we see it. Luffy is crying, but not from fear anymore. He's crying because Shanks's left arm is gone. It was just torn off to save him.
The art in that panel, the blood in the water, Shanks comforting a sobbing Luffy, saying, "It's just an arm. I'm just glad you're safe." It's a gut punch. It recontextualizes everything. That arm was a small price to pay for what he saw in that boy.
And that leads us to the final scene, the moment the entire series is built on. Shanks' ship is leaving for good. Luffy isn't crying anymore. He stands on the dock and yells not that he wants to join Shanks' crew, but that he's going to form his own crew, find his own treasure, and become the king of the pirates.
The declaration. And Shanks? He just smiles. He sees the conviction. He takes off his most prized possession, the straw hat he got from his own captain, Goldie Roger, and he places it on Luffy's head.
He tells him, "Come bring it back to me when you've become a great pirate." This isn't just a gift, it's a promise, a challenge. And as Shanks sails away, he thinks to himself, "I bet it on the new era." He sacrificed his arm as a bet on this little rubber kid.
What a way to start a story. It establishes the stakes, the core values, and the central symbol all at once. The hat isn't just a hat. It's the weight of a promise. It's the symbol of a dream passed down. It's the physical manifestation of a bet on the future.
10 years pass in a flash, and we see a 17-year-old Luffy setting out in a tiny boat. He says his goodbyes, and the first thing he does is he punches the Lord of the Coast, the very same monster that took Shanks' arm, and defeats it with one gum-gum pistol. It's a perfect full-circle moment. The journey has truly begun.
It makes you think, doesn't it, about those moments in our own lives? The promises we make, the people who bet on us, who saw something in us before we even saw it in ourselves. What does it mean to carry that kind of legacy, that kind of bet, with you on your own journey?
That's the magic of this beginning. It's not just about a boy wanting to be a pirate. It's about inheritance, sacrifice, and the incredible weight of a simple straw hat. And from that small village, an epic that would change the world set sail.